Okay, so we're going to revisit a snake video. I did a snake tips video many years ago, and I don't know how many was it, 2 years ago we did? 2 years ago. So anyway, let's talk about snake play again. I like playing snake, even though I'm tall and you know the snake isn't built for people of my size and this, that, and the other. I still really enjoy playing it. I'll give you my tips on playing the snake. It might help. One of the things I do very religiously is what I call elbow to knee, okay? Which is basically I take my elbow and I put it to my knee, and this is basically the position that I'll stay in for the most part. It gets you low enough, I'll spread my legs out and stuff like that, you know, get my legs out, you know, as far apart as I can. But elbow to knee really works on not only shooting down the tape, but also when you need to pop up and shoot it inside. A lot of players will come up and they'll put their, you know, their shoulder up against the bunker to shoot crossfield. Now that does sometimes work with, you know, that does work in some situations on trying to stay tighter. I personally don't play that way. I mean, I'm not a pro player by any stretch of the imagination, but I find that by doing that really severely limits my shots, because now I can't shoot down the tape, and I also definitely can't shoot over the top if I'm pressed against the bunker with my back towards my player. You know, so if all of a sudden I'm about to get bunkered on the tape, how do I shoot out somebody that's running down the tape? I can't, because I'm committed to this. I can get the same shot. Come over here, let me show you this camera angle here. Okay, I can get the same shot. Let's say, for instance, I'm shooting at the Aztec that's down over, you know, the Aztec, the corner Aztec, okay? If I'm pressed up against here, okay, I'm gonna keep this gun as still as I can. Okay, I can get pretty close to the same shot by being elbow to knee and still being able to shoot down the tape, okay? So by being elbow to knee, you know, using the elbow to knee allows me to shoot down the tape, and then when that shot is there, I can now shoot cross field very easily. Now, another thing that I really like about elbow to knee is that it makes it very easy for me to move up to the next bunker, which is really important in snake. Okay, if I'm like this, all I got to do is put my hand down, and now I'm ready to run. You know, I'm ready to run. I can go bunker somebody, or I can move up the field. So if I put my hand down, now I can start to crawl. But if you're like this, how are you going to crawl up to the next bunker when your coach tells you it's time to move up? Or your player just tells you, hey, we just shot out the snake player, snake is clean. How do you from here turn around and crawl? What do you go like this? You know, or I mean, how do you do that? You know, you basically have to back up off the snake and then now start to crawl. Whereas opposed to if you're using elbow to knee, you shoot downfield like this, you can quickly shoot cross field, come back down, shoot. If you get somebody coming up, you know, coming up what they call highway, which is this area just in between the snake and the bunkers there where they come up to bunker you, you can now pop up very easily and shoot him coming up. Can't do that when your shoulder's up against it. So I highly recommend. Now people may develop that style on their own, but my personal style, and it works for me, and I'm 6'4" and I play snake, is to use elbow to knee. You can crawl faster, you get the same shots when you're shooting crossfield, and you can still take control of your tape, and you can pop up over the top. Now it takes practice. You have to do this at your house. You definitely need to make sure that you're stretched out. But what I do is get down where you're sitting on your heels like this. Then what you do is just take your elbow, put it in the dirt right on your knee, take your gun, put it basically right up here, you know, just above your chest right here, about, you know, a little bit off the middle of your rib cage. And you just want to practice this. Just like that, you can come out, you're nice and balanced, you can switch hands, and you're nice and balanced. You can come up high, like that, you can shoot cross field. It's all there, as opposed to when you put your shoulder up against the snake, it's not a really good idea. Now another thing is me being tall, I have a disadvantage in crawling. It's very easy when you're crawling down the snake, especially when you're like this and crawling, for players, you know, let's say for instance in that can, to shoot down and hit your pack as you're crawling up the snake. You know, it looks really corny, but it works. But you have to do it like a combat crawl, or the easiest way to describe it is you have to drag your dick through the dirt. So what I typically will do is I'll get my gun like this, especially when I know, like if there's somebody in that can and I'm further back in the snake and I know they're shooting over the top of me, I'll literally drag my knees like that and literally drag my dick in the dirt. There's my pecker right there, you see that? Almost dug up the sprinkler system. Anyway, but anyway, that's the tips I definitely do. Now, if you're a smaller player and you can get away with you can get away with crawling on your elbows and knees, all power to you. But if you're over about 5'6", I definitely recommend doing the drag, where you basically drag your hips and your knees through the dirt and plow through the ground with your elbows. Now, it's not the fastest way to move up the snake, but it's also the smartest and the most likely, the best way that you can get from one bunker to another without getting shot in your pack. Pack hits are what kill snake players. I shoot snake players in the pack all the time, moving up from one bunker to the other. So practice the elbow to knee at your house. When you're in the snake, another thing you want to do also is do a lot of head checking. So you don't want to, Give me some room. Give me some room. Hey, he's out! He's out! Oh, okay, sorry.